and I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills.
We just don't know. I think it's not knowing is what the problem is.
People are going to end up losing their homes, and, we don't know if we might end up being one of them.
The COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 exposed just how vulnerable our personal economies are.
Stuck in that gig economy loop where we have no safety nets.
As cities and states began to shut down and businesses were forced to close, the reality began to sink in. Millions were suddenly jobless, losing most, if not all, of their income, and were totally dependent on the government for help. Unemployment rates reached record highs, and hiring freezes made it nearly impossible to find new jobs. You are watching this video right now because you've been impacted in some way, through no fault of your own, by a personal or global crisis. Perhaps you suddenly lost your job or were unable to perform your work because you got sick or needed to care for a loved one. You may have even been fortunate enough to continue working, but recognize now that you need a safety net. My promise to you is that if you stick with me until the end of this 3-minute video, I will guide you to how you can insulate your personal economy in these situations without relying on the government, exhausting your savings, or going into debt. Hi, my name is Ernest Davis, and why am I qualified to speak on this subject? Well, that's because a life-changing event impacted our family several years ago. However, it was a response to this misfortune that prepared us for what was to come in 2020. You see, in 2013, my family went through a personal crisis after my wife Jemima gave birth to our son. She experienced postpartum complications, which ultimately led to a permanent disability. She was only supposed to be on maternity leave for a few weeks. Instead, we found ourselves staring at the reality of attempting to raise 3 young children in our new home with only one source of income. We thought we had hit rock bottom, but it was about to get a lot worse. We quickly went through the little bit of savings and turned to credit cards in order to keep up with expenses. Before we knew it, we were tens of thousands of dollars in debt with no plan on how to repay. The creditors came calling, and the lawsuits were on their way. We were fighting a losing battle. So what changed for us? It changed when we started playing by a new set of rules. It is how we went from crisis to having one of our best financial years in 2020. It is why we are profiting more when the economy is heading into a recession. Understand, you can't pick the cards that you're dealt. You can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you respond. How you respond to adversity, but more importantly, how you respond to opportunity. Which brings us to the present. So if you're ready to learn how to insulate your personal economy during a crisis without relying on the government, exhausting your savings, or going into debt, then click the link in the description and let's get started.